So hi everyone, my name is Bele. I'm one of the developers here at Jadu and Spacecraft. There are still some features that I want to discuss. So for each widget, we can apply what is called the widget styles. So widget styles are small snippets of CSS that can be applied for each particular widget from a homepage. They are used in Homepage Designer in the settings page of a widget. I'm not sure if you saw, but there was a select style for this widget. And they are managed in Widget Manager styles. So instead of Widget Manager, upload a new widget or view the widget, there's a secondary tab called styles. And for each widget instance can be assigned a different widget style. And each time a widget style is added or it's updated, of course, the widget CSS styles will be automatically updated. So in this case, you can use widget styles if you'd like to have the same widget multiple times on the homepage, on a page or in different homepages, but you want it designed differently for each one. So for each widget, they are similarly to how the variables are injected in the front end, the public PHP part. It's the same way they are uniquely identified in CSS using widget key name. And this placeholder will be replaced with the style that you want to apply within the widget. So on a homepage, you can have multiple widgets, the same widgets, but they will be completely different styles for them applied. Okay, so let's do that for the last widget that we did. Let's create, like we have a simple to-do widget CSS that I'm applying some simple CSS for them, but I uniquely identify for each widget with the placeholder key name. So this is like a simple style that is applied to the public PHP. So like this HTML part from the widget. And let's create a widget style for this. We'll create it under a name and then apply this style to the widget that we added. So let's go to the home page, widget manager. So in the widget manager, we have manage widgets, but we also have styles. So we're gonna create a new style and let's call this for to-do widget, and let's copy paste the styles from here and upload. So this is the first widget style that we added. We can easily modify and create a new one, which maybe has like a green background or anything else, or it loads like an image or something like that. And now in order to use this widget style, we're gonna go to publish, home pages, view the home page, view the widget. So we go to the settings, and here we have settings tab, and we have select style. So now we have the select style a bit of CSS. We're gonna continue. Of course, CSS and anything is not loading in the preview, so we have to save, submit, approve, and view. So now our widget is styled a bit differently just to show you guys that this is possible. So this is a pretty easy concept to think about widgets. So you have the control center settings page, you have the front end page. The settings from the control center are injected in the front end, and you can style that front end as you like through widget styles. Of course, you can do it through the general style sheet of the page. You can style them through there if you want like a generic style for the widget. But otherwise, if you want particular style for each widget, you use widget styles. So let's look at other exercises. So other examples that are out of the box. Let's look at, for example, the example that you want to say If the user is logged in, do something. If it's not logged in, do something else. So we only have a public PHP part for this user, for this widget. Let me just. So for the widget, we have the global Jadu service user service, which we're gonna get like a get instance. So the Jadu service user is like a singleton where we're gonna get instance. And with that instance, then we can check all of the user status. So if the user is session logged in, if it's not logged in, sorry, so we have not logged in, then we can, if the current user adapter, so for example, if the SAML user adapter can register user, then we're gonna get the adapter. So we're gonna get the SAML, get the user instance, get the current adapter, and from the current adapter, please get the register URL. So in this case, if in the control center we're gonna set this is the register URL for our user login, automatically this button will be displayed, and if they click it, it will be redirected to the register URL. Otherwise, we're gonna simply redirect the user to the sign-in URL. So in this case, if you want, you can say, for example, here, if the user is logged in, you're gonna say fetch API data, or fetch forms, or fetch documents, or whatever you might think of based on the current logged in user. Another simple example is the homepage banners, which is only public PHP part as well. So the homepage banners are are a control center settings where you can upload homepage banners that they will be cycled through. And in this case, we're gonna get all of the homepage banners. If there aren't any, we're gonna simply return. We're gonna shuffle them just to make sure that on each page request they are differently. We're gonna get the first one, get the correct URL for the image, get the properties of the image, and if the URL exists, we're gonna display and link it to the user. So based on the image, we're gonna encode the alt text, the image src, and if the banner has a link to like a festival or something like that, we're gonna link that as well. Something to notice here that this widget doesn't have a secure.php part. It only has a public HTML part, and it's as simple as it can get. A more complicated one would be popular XFP forms. So popular XFP forms, you can have a widget on the homepage where, let's say, for example, if the user is logged in, you can display the most popular forms that are currently available, that most popular forms that have user submitted forms. And this one has a secure PHP where we have how many numbers of forms we want to display. And we also have an option to how we can, or how do we want to order the forms. So we want either by popularity or by title or by newest in that case. So as well, we have, as you can see here, we have if the X forms, so these are different settings that are available, but we also have a secure.js part where we inject the value of the selected, we inject the value in the hidden form based on default value here. So we also have, in this case, this is the first time we are seeing a secure.js part. So if you go to the public PHP, we're gonna include some Jadu X forms functionality, and here we're gonna define the functions that we are going to use for ordering. So we have order by popularity, order by title, or order by newest. One thing to notice here is that we wrap functions with a if not function exists. because if this widget would be added twice in a home page, then these functions will be defined twice, and that will trigger a PHP error. So we wrap the functions if in function exists. So if the function is already defined, then we are not going to redefine it, if that makes sense. So in this case, if we go a bit down, we can select all X forms. We're gonna check based on what we want the ordering to be. If we don't have a defined ordering, we're gonna do a default order by popularity. And if we have a defined number of forms, if we don't have a defined number of forms, we're gonna set a default 10. If we have a category ID, so if the widget, if the home page is assigned to a category ID and we want to use a category ID to view the widgets, we're gonna fetch them. So get all forms with category, which this is the core function. Otherwise, if we have a list of categories, we're gonna get all forms with category, but we explode the categories IDs. So here we're gonna fetch all of the available X forms, and then we're gonna need to order them based on what we are interested in. So either be popularity or by title or by newest. So for each array key, we're gonna order them based on what we want. So order by popularity, we're gonna use the compare function, order by popularity compare. So if we go, this is the most interesting one, I think. If we have form A and form B, we're gonna use the function get total requests for form. So how many forms or how many requests a particular form got. And this function as a comparator will be used for that. So what this will do is compare each form, get the total form requests for each form, and then order them based on popularity, from the most popular one being first to the least popular one being the last. And at the end, we're gonna array slice based on the number of forms that we want to display. And then we are gonna display the form. We have the category title if we are under a category. And then for each form, we're gonna print the form title and form URL. And if we are under HTTPS, we're gonna display the secure form under HTTPS, otherwise under HTTP. So this is a bit more complicated one, but it's just to show that what is possible and what you can do in widgets, essentially. You can do as much functionality as you want to include, but ideally it should be pretty compact so that it does what you want, but in a limited, it's going to be hard to manage if you're putting loads of logic in it. And yeah, that's basically it for now. If you have any questions or you are thinking of doing something, just let me know and we can discuss it if you'd like. Thank you very much and have a great day.